so we don't get that feedback. Thank you so much, because I almost forgot. Almost forgot to record. That wouldn't have been good. So thank you so much. I always have, we have a great team over here. Our leadership team. All right. So today we're going to be talking about taxes. If there is nothing else that you need to know, especially in the country that we live in America, and America it's capitalism. It's a capitalistic system. Some people look at capitalism as a bad word. However, it's only one when you're not on the right side of it. Okay. So just like we want to be on the right side of a trade, we want to be on the right side of capitalism. Okay. And so, the way that this system is set up, it favors the entrepreneur. It favors the business owner, whether that is a big business or small business. It favors the business owner or the entrepreneur. And what we really need to know and understand is taxes, because no matter what, we're going to deal with taxes. I don't know if you all remember, history. I remember, when I was in what was that, grade school, junior high, something like that. And in social studies, and we were taking the Constitution and all of that, just talking about how this country was formed. Independence Day and all of those things, like why we even celebrate Independence Day, July 4th, 1776. And we still barbecue and all of that type of stuff for Independence Day. But what I remember, just in short, is the reason why that is, and the reason why it's called Independence Day and we celebrate it, is because that's when America gained its independence from from British rule, right? So that was the war that was fought, and it was like, hey, we won, right? Well, what were they trying to gain their independence from? Well, why did they come from where they came from in the first place? Because they were being heavily taxed. They wanted to get away from that heavy taxation, right? And then came here, quote unquote, discovered America with people already on it, doing the things that they were doing, right? And we're not going to get into the whole thing, but that's what happened. So they were getting away from that heavy taxation, came here, and then, they had to be independent. They had to, basically, I don't like to use this term, because they did not pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They didn't do it, but they thought so, right? They thought that they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, but they were able to make deals and trade guns and liquor and things like that for servants or slaves, right? In order to build the country that they wanted built. And so they needed to also implement a tax system, because, they knew it greatly, because that's where they came from. That's what they came from up under. And so it was like, well, we have to implement it here, but they wanted to do it a bit differently from where they came from. So we have to understand taxes. And we have to allow, yes, exactly. We're not educated about taxes. So, and being educated about taxes is part of financial literacy, because if we can make all the money that we want to, right? We can make billions and trillions or whatever of dollars. But if we don't know and understand that a portion of that will be taxed, because we do have to pay it, then, that's how people end up in owing taxes and going to jail for not paying taxes and all of those things. And so it's not about evading taxes. It's not about not being taxed at all. It's about just making sure that we're paying our fair share of taxes. That's really it, that we're not overpaying in taxes. All right. And so when we know and we understand taxes and tax laws, then we can operate accordingly. All right. So in our health and wealth workshop this morning, we are talking about how to get Uncle Sam to pay you to run your Forex business. Now, drop some ones in the chat if you think that that would be a good thing for you. Do you want to know how you can get Uncle Sam to pay for your Forex business? Drop some ones in the chat if you want to know. Right, we have a lot of those, right? It's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? Everybody wants to know. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's what we're going to share. So welcome to today's wealth session, in health and wealth with myself, Coach Hadassah. So that's who I am, here and out there in YouTube land. I'm Coach Hadassah. I'm a metaphysician. I'm a certified health and wellness coach, and I'm an educator. And also, I have several businesses, but one of my businesses is as a tax professional with excuse me, I'm sorry, I need to drink some water. With Wealth Systems Financial Solutions. And I teach trading psychology at KPCFX to help our Forex students to release trapped emotions and self-limiting beliefs to restore their mental health and increase their wealth. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Make sure that you have your your notes, your notebook. We have 2 5-subject notebooks because we have various classes where you take your notes in. So you want to make sure that you're taking notes, jot things down, but then also know that you can definitely play this back in the back office under the archives in the health and wealth on the health and wealth channel. All right. So why having your own business is important. This is what we're going to get into. All right. So the cost of business, right? So first of all, let's go. We're going to go back because I think I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself. So here's that question again. Why having your own business is important? Well, that's the way that you build generational wealth and leave an inheritance to your children's children, but then also leave a legacy. Not only leaving that legacy to your family, but leaving the legacy to the world at large. Whoever it is, or the many lives that you were destined to touch. It may be 25, it may be 50, it may be 100. It may be 75, it may be 1,000, who knows, right? But we will all leave some type of legacy, how you're remembered. And you want to make sure that you are that person, not only in serving your purpose, but you're that person that led with, you were heart-led, you were spirit-led, you were led by integrity and honesty to serve your fellow man. Right? No matter what it is that you do, that is the legacy that you want to leave behind in whatever it is that you are doing here to serve your purpose, right? So this is why it is so important. And leaving a legacy or leaving an inheritance to your children's children, it's a principle, it's a law, it's in the scriptures, it was also said, that it's not for the children to lay up for the parents, but the parents for the children. So this is what we're helping you do here at KPCFX. It's more than trading. It's more than just about trading. Again, it is wealth building and leaving that inheritance and that legacy for yourself. For your family, right? So what about the actual cost of running your Forex business? All right. So the bottom line answer is this. It's normally 100% tax deductible. All right. Your business is 100% tax deductible. The cost of starting your home-based business, which is your Forex business, because you do that Forex business from home. You could do it on the go, all of those types of things. The start of running it, if you have any, promotional materials, like business cards, your t-shirts, your KPCFX shirts or things like that, that would advertise for your business. If you were to get some, the car magnets or a car wrap or anything like that, those things are tax deductible. Meeting attendance, like we meet on Zoom. If you pay for Zoom, when we go and we travel to have our boot camps, internet access fees, special phone services or your cell phone. For those of you who are participating in the affiliate program that we have, KPCM, and you get leads, and things like that. If you have to print materials, if you have any, say you have a briefcase and things, your laptops and all of those type of things. If I didn't say business cards, I'm saying it again, business cards, home office furnishings, right? I mean, like in my home, I have a home office. I have furniture in the home office. And, when I purchased it, and then also every year there's a depreciation that I can add, when I'm doing my taxes. All of these things, right? 100% tax deductible if they are used 100% for your business. So the rule of thumb is this: any expense you incur because of your business that would not have incurred if you did not have a business is probably tax deductible, right? So as you can see already, if your mind isn't churning about like, wait a minute, you start looking around your home and you're like, you mean to tell me this stuff in here is tax deductible? Yes, if your principal place of operations is of business operations is your home. And I would say that it is, because you are now in business. Forex is your business. All right. So the key to one of your biggest deductions may be in your ignition. Yes, many home-based business owners can honestly and legitimately deduct about $3,000 to $5,000 or more per year for using their personal vehicles for business purposes. So keeping a simple mileage log that shows the date, the destination, your primary purpose and miles traveled for business, I think you have track of that in your GPS system, right? When you use GPS, I know I use it a lot going to different places. And then, I take that and I make sure that I log it. And there are, apps that I have a host of materials that you all can use. I'm going to make sure that I drop it in the culture chat. A lot of them are free resources, and then there are some that are paid. You get a free trial and then you pay for them, but most of them are free resources and tools that you can use. And so, you want to have that log, right? And as long as it's used for business for each of the vehicles that you have, you just want to make sure that you log that and you have those records. So note that only for the primary purpose of each trip, it needs to be recorded. So if you combine, say for instance, you're going on you're making a trip for business, and then you go on a personal errand, as well, right? You want to, that wouldn't be 100% for business. So just keep track of what that percentage is. If it's mostly, for business, but then I stopped along the way and did a little personal errand, then that would be 75, maybe 80% of that trip. All right. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping honest and legitimate records of these trips. Okay. So for the tax laws that's given to you by means of choice and the methods of computing the value of your deductions, you want to figure it out both ways, as far as personal use and then the business use, and which one is most beneficially suited for you. And again, I'm a tax professional. I can help you out with all of that, just making sure that, you keep proper records with the upkeep of, the differentiation between your personal, runs and your business runs. But trust me when I say it's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. I do it all the time. Like I do it all the time. So it's a good log, right? So these are things that can be tax deductible. Think about this: gas, right? How many people are complaining about gas prices? Like, ooh, these gas prices high. How many of you would like to deduct some of that, gas costs, right? You could drop a one in the chat for that. How many of you want to save on gas and it becomes tax deductible for you? Right? Yeah, I believe all of us here, all right, want to be able to deduct that gas mileage. But not only that, I mean, think there's maintenance for your car. You have to wash your car, keeping it clean. Your let's see what else, oil changes, that's the maintenance, your oil changes and rotating your tires and any repairs. All of those things now are tax deductible because you are using your vehicle for business purposes. All right. So again, you want to make sure that you keep record, you keep track of all of these expenses so that come tax time, you just tally it all up. And then once the tax professional, enters it into the tax software, then, it figures out that percentage there for you, right? So again, you just want to make sure that you're keeping proper records. All right. So now, listen, vacations may be deductible, but only if you plan them correctly and in advance. How many of you would like to have your vacations being tax deductible? Drop a one in the chat for that. Drop a one in the chat, right? Oh yeah, it's highly unlikely. And of course, as tax professionals, we know what gets red flags. So we make sure that we don't do anything to, have a red flag come up, right? So yeah, I know that everybody would love to have your vacations tax deductible. So yes, if you know the rules, you can combine business with pleasure, even if it's mostly pleasure. And you can usually deduct 100% of your travel cost, 100% of your hotel, 100% of ground transportation, 100% of tips and gratuities, and 50% of your meal costs, all as business expenses, right? I mean, you heard that, right? So think about our boot camps, I hope that you still have all receipts, okay, all receipts for the cost that you incurred when we had our boot camp, right? And also for the boot camps that are coming up. Okay. Yes, Miss Florence, we're going to get into that. That's coming up, right? So make sure that you keep track of all receipts. And this is what we talked about last night, right? Was setting up your business and making sure that you have a business account, because all of these things will be done from your business account. Okay. We talked about paying yourself a salary, a little small salary, but for the most part, these are business expenses that you want to utilize and have in your business account. All right. So because these costs are for business, you don't want to deduct, you don't want to have that come, out of your business account. You want to pay yourself a small salary, but your business must run. So you keep what you need for your business in your business account. And all of this is business expenses that, you would have record. Not only will you have record of that from your bank statements to show, but then you also have records that you keep for your, all of your receipts, and, those that you keep in your, for your, maybe if you have Quicken books or things like that, keep record of that for your accounting purposes. If you want to hire an accountant, they can do that, but you can also keep record yourself using those accounting the accounting software that you would have, which again, if you use it and you pay for it, that's tax deductible as well. Okay, because you're using this for your business, right? So let's see, what else? I want to make sure that I'm not skipping over
Hey,
anything.
Queen.
And hold on one second. Yes.
Hey, Queen, one moment. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay in spite of the little sickness I'm dealing with. But let me just tell the community and yourself as well that tonight I'll be on tonight at 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? We're going to Asia, y'all. So y'all get ready, pack your bags. We're gonna take a red eye to Asia. And we're gonna get busy. We're gonna talk about this week's news, and we're gonna talk about getting ready for next year. All right. So, and also on top of that, y'all go out and you tell your friends to tell a friend to tell a friend that we got open house tonight. And the one and only Mr. Fundamentals is gonna be on deck, sick and all. But we gonna do what we gotta do here because this is KPCFX culture. You understand me? I want y'all to take all this information that our amazing sister is giving y'all right now. I heard last night you dropped a bomb on them, and then you coming back this morning and dropping another bomb on them. I hope everybody is getting everything, taking the notes that they need to take, right? But I just wanted to let y'all know because I'm getting ready to have to jump off. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the mix right now at work, so I had to jump off. But I wanted to jump on and, to just kind of catch some of the vibe and see what y'all had going on. So, sis, love you to death. Appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to just jump in right quick. Y'all have an amazing day, man. And keep doing what y'all doing, man. I know somebody caught some of that money this morning.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And yes, you take care of yourself, get all rested up and everything so that you can be good to go for tonight. And I know I'm going to be on. We'll definitely be on.
Let's go then, man. For real. Love y'all to death, man. I hope y'all having an amazing morning and have an amazing day. Let's go be great, man. I'll talk to y'all tonight.
Yes. Love you too, bro.
All right.
All right. So yes, that's good. That's good. So again, of course we're gonna talk about that, going into the Asian session after after the class. But I'm glad that he came on so that everybody can hear that he's, doing well and all of that good stuff. Look, everybody, let's keep everybody lifted up in prayer for their health and everything, because it's a lot going on. It's going around. It didn't just hit my house. It seems like it's hitting everybody. So let's just keep everybody lifted up in prayer and, keep the good vibe going. And then also make sure that you take care of you, like seriously, because there's a lot going on. So yes, back to this vacation, right? Just make sure, again, taking great record keeping and having those receipts and everything to be able to, compute those costs. And here's a good thing too. Again, you want to make sure that you use that software in order to log your receipts. And what's so important about that is that, nowadays, and I have my conspiracy theories about it, but at the same time, I'm not going to put that on anybody else. But I will say with the receipt paper that most of the companies use nowadays, it's like invisible ink. You have this paper and maybe, a good week or two later or whatever, the ink is gone. And so you just have this white piece of paper, right? I think that's purposely. So now when you make purchases and things like that, a lot of times you do have the option for email receipt. So I'm gonna just share a tip that I do. Not only do I get the printed receipt, I opt for the email and printed receipt, because if it's something that I need to, exchange, or I was overcharged or whatever the case may be, I want to have the receipt on hand to bring it back. However, I also want to have the email receipt. And then of course you make sure that you create a folder in your email, and then have, like say I have a folder that says business receipts. And when I get those email receipts, I put that in the label with the business receipts. Okay. So then, every if I don't do it every quarter, I do it at least every 6 months. And I go ahead and do those calculations so that at the end of the year, when it's time to file taxes, I have that number already. Like I have it already because I already did it. So I'm taking 4 numbers and I'm adding those, right? Or I'm taking 2 numbers because I did it, once every 6 months. But I have those totals for those receipts there. And then if by chance that I am audited, okay, I have all of those receipts there, and I'm not going back to collect these white pieces of paper that no longer has ink on them. Yes, and you can use a scanner on your phone, okay, to have that. Like I have an Adobe scan. You can scan the receipt. The Adobe Scan is a free app. Go into your app store, download it on your phone. You definitely want to have that for any and all things, because it makes life easier. That's actually how I do with my tax clients. All of the forms and things that they need to have, I give them a checklist, and anything and everything that applies to them, they go ahead and they scan it, and then they email it to me. And then that way I have everything right there. And it just makes life a lot easier for myself and my client, right? And then I get them the biggest deduction possible, right? Or help them save greatly on, on their taxes, where if they do get a tax bill, it's fairly low, or they break even. They don't owe, and the IRS don't owe them, which means that they did not overpay. Okay, that they did not overpay in taxes. All right. So again, for all of those things, you just want to make sure that you, again, keep those receipts, keep those receipts that you have for vacationing, because listen, as a community, we will be doing a lot of traveling. All right. We're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and we have a ball when we do travel for business. And guess what? Tax deductible. All right. So now here's the next thing. Hire your minor children to work in your business. Now, when I give you all a tip on how this is done, I mean, it's going to change the game, right? Because here's the thing, their wages are tax deductible to you, and their income is tax-free to your child, because a child, up to age 17 does not have to pay taxes on their wages. But for you being the business owner and employing your children in your business, you pay them. So now that is tax deductible for you. So here's a tip. Let's say I have my children, right? I have 7 children, but 4 of them, well, not 4. At one point it was 4 of them, right? Because now, we have one that's 20, one is 18. I still have one that's 2 that's still minors, 17 and 15. Well, he'll be 15. Yes, he'll be 15 in a couple of days. Pray for those who have children around Christmas time. Right. Pray for those who have children with birthdays in December. Right. But when they were all, under, when they were all minors, in which, like I said, 2 of them are still minors, then this is what we did, right? I hired them in my business because I've always had a home-based business. And because we have a home-based business, and our home-based business is the principal place, our home is the principal place of business operations. Think about it. If you walked into a business and the business was all nasty, filthy, dirty, whatever, would you go back there? Would you go back there? Like, yes or no? Drops in either yes or no in the chat. If you walked in the business and the business was nasty and dirty, would you go back there? Right? No. So it needs to be clean. It needs to be maintained. When you come up to the business and it looks nice outside, your yard and all of that, this is business, right? And so, there are many people, especially in Black culture, we don't think that I'm not paying my children to clean up the house. That's what they're supposed to do. In which, in essence, you're kind of right, but then you're kind of wrong, right? But this is what I mean by that. Do I want my children to pick up after themselves and clean up after themselves? Yes. I am not going to pay them to clean up after themselves. However, there are community spaces in the home, right? When they clean the kitchen, everybody is coming through the kitchen. Everybody is utilizing dishes. That is a community space. In the bathroom, everybody is using the bathroom, but it needs to be cleaned, right? Everybody is frequenting the living room and the dining room, and then there are people that are coming in and out of the home office and all of that. Those are community spaces where everybody is using, and especially you have clients coming in the home and things like that. They're coming in the home as well, right? So for that is what I pay them for. Okay. So now think of the expenses that you will incur for just upkeep of your child, right? You're buying them games, you're buying them clothes, you're buying them shoes, you're buying all these things for your children. Well, what if you take that money? We call it income shifting, right? We're shifting. So I think, think about the amounts of money that I'm paying to buy clothes and video games, and the money that they're going to ask me for and all of that. Now this becomes their income. It becomes their income. So now, what you're doing when you do that? Now you're teaching your children work ethic and the value of $1. Because when it's your children's money, when it's your money, oh, they're gonna make it rain. They don't care. They don't care nothing about it. They will spend it to the hilt. And then they need everything that costs $1,000 or more. I need this, I need that. How much is it? It's $50,000. But when it's their money and you pay them, now is it a dire need? Now, do you need that $50,000 belt? All of a sudden they don't need it. Now they need a regular belt. Right? Do you need those $250,000 pair of shoes? No, now you don't need those $250,000 pair of shoes. Now you trying to find a deal, in the bargain on those shoes. Now, do you need that $500,000 gaming system? Now they're trying to find a bargain because it's their money. You see, right? So now, and trust me, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyeballs with all of them. It is hilarious to see. Like, oh, all of a sudden now it's not, well, man, I don't need, can you get such and such so and so? No, you got paid. You spend your own money on it. Now all of a sudden they don't need it, or they caught a sale. They got it on clearance. I'm telling you, it's hilarious. It is hilarious. Now all this, well, they want to eat out and everything. Now they're trying to go grocery shopping and cook it themselves. Right? But it's yes, exactly. They're no longer shopping at the brass buckle. Oh, it is hilarious, but that's good adult training, because when they're teenagers, now they're it's like that's that adult training time period. And so they learn about financial literacy by how they have to handle their own income, and that income is what you're paying them in your home-based business, right? They're already doing the chores, and then they're helping you in your business. You might need them to shred some papers, file some papers. You can hire them to keep up with the bookkeeping and, showing them those things. And that allows them to get some type of skill set, right? Especially, again, financial literacy. So you hire them, it becomes tax deductible for you, and it's tax-free for them, right? So if you have dependents over the age of 6, and if you employ him, her, them in your home-based business, they are not subject to child labor laws. There's no payroll withholding as required if they're under 18. The wages that you pay them is 100% tax deductible to your business, and the income they earn is usually 100% tax-free to them. Yes, same for grandchildren. Anybody that does not have children, but you have nieces and nephews, hire them. Tax time is people without children. Oh man, they trying to find somebody whose children they can file on their taxes. Go hire somebody's children. Right? Employ somebody's children. Give them a job. Right? Have them come over and cut your grass, or all of those things. Clean your kitchen and do things in your business, and it becomes tax deductible. But you have to want to pay them, right? We're not doing this thing dishonestly, right? It is legitimate and honestly. This is what we're doing. Okay, so your grandchildren, your nieces, nephews, your neighbor's children, somebody's children, hire them. All right. And so it sounds like to me, that's about as good as it gets when it comes to that, right? Hire those children, put some money in their pockets. And here's the next thing. All health costs for your entire family can be tax deductible by your business, but only only if you, one, operate a business, and two, have 0 or 1 employee. So most other taxpayers can deduct only their premiums and out-of-pocket healthcare costs that exceeds 10% of their total taxable income, except you. So owning a home business gives you an IRS approved option of writing off nearly all non-reimbursed healthcare expenses. And it applies to all immediate family members, in addition to you yourself. So coverage can include insurance premiums, your huge annual deductibles, co-pays, non-covered expenses like orthodontics, natural or holistic remedies, and even over-the-counter drugs. Also, anybody that may have a cannabis card, because I'm a registered cannabis caregiver in Illinois for my daughter. She lives with cerebral palsy. And yes, I legally tax deduct weed. Well, I don't use the flower. I get cannabis oil for her, and I make a lot of salves and, things like that for her, sublinguals and all of that, but it's tax deductible. Okay. So it's a healthcare cost. But then also, do you wear glasses? Did your children wear glasses? Right? Your eye exams, your glasses that you paid for, medical mileage to and from your hospital visits. If you, any, medical, like canes and walkers and wheelchairs and all of those things, out-of-pocket expenses, you pay for those things, chiropractor visits, clinical massage therapy visits, all of those things are tax deductible. All right. So make sure that you keep proper records. So we're talking about major tax savings by running a small business, right? Your small business, your home business, which is your Forex business. So when the average entrepreneur understands the special tax advantages available to home business owners, how easy it is to qualify, and how simple the record-keeping requirements are, the new deductions will usually slash your taxes dramatically, sometimes up to about 30 to 40% or more. So that means they're paying thousands of dollars less in taxes, which produces thousands of dollars in new additional tax refunds year after year for as long as you are actively running your business and making or attempting to make a profit. All right. So average additional tax refunds for most home businesses and home business owners is between $3,000 to $6,000 per year. And that's about $100 per week extra cash in your pocket. So you don't need to wait until April 15th to get your new additional tax refunds. You will be able to collect your additional refunds throughout the year. You do not have to wait until next April 15th to get the money into your pocket. That's how you can get Uncle Sam to pay for your home business, for your Forex business. And of course, that's the title of this wealth presentation, right? So Uncle Sam will pay for your expenses now, not reimburse you later. Okay. So how is that? Here's how it works. How many of you are currently employed right now? Drop a 1 in the chat. If you are currently employed, if you are a W-2 wage earner, that means you get a W-2. All right, we got some ones. We got some ones. Okay. Okay. All right. So now I'm about to show you how you can save. All right. Save on your taxes. Have Uncle Sam pay for your Forex business. All right, we have some more. We have some more. Right. Okay, so you have home business related expenses each month. Okay, so Congress lets you pay less payroll taxes every month also. So when you begin having less money withdrawn or withheld from your wages for taxes, the difference is added to your take-home pay. So let's say you're currently having $1,000 a month withheld from your paychecks for taxes. All right, y'all know about that, right? That FICO. Okay, so about what someone, you may be making, anywhere between $40,000 to $45,000 a year in wages. Okay, and that's what you would pay. So now let's say you compute that new home business deductions that you can now qualify for. This will reduce your annual taxes by about $5,000 a year. And this just is, it's just an example, right? But it's realistic for many people. It's definitely, it was realistic for me. This is how I actually went into, my tax business, because when I learned about this, I said, oh my gosh, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. So I actually helped someone. It was actually my husband. Like before we got married, before we were married, we were dating, and we went out somewhere and he had to go file his taxes, right? So, he went to do that, and then we were going to go, out afterwards. So I knew I had this information because of the business that I was in at that particular time. And so I sat there with him. He's going through the tax filing or whatever, and he owed. So I looked and I said, you owe? He was like, yeah, I owe. I owe every year. So mind you, again, we were dating. I had 3 children. He didn't have any. He was single, no children. And so of course he's working and he's getting taxed out the wazoo. So he owed. So I was like, you owe? He said, yeah. I said, huh. So then I showed him how he would not have to owe, because, I'm like, hey, were you able to deduct this? Did you take this deduction, this deduction? And these were all deductions that he could take, because he was he's still an educator, but he was an educator. But the tax professional that he went to, and there are a lot of these tax services that some of them don't know, and some of them may know, but if they're just trying to, get a paycheck and they want to hurry up and, hey, I'm just going to do an easy file and not ask people certain questions that may help them, save on taxes, they'll just run it through and send you on about your way. Right? So I asked him these questions that pertain to what he did as an educator. And he said, well, yes, I have this expense, this expense and all of that. And then when I ran it through, I'm like, well, this is how much money that you could have saved. And I said, and you actually would have got a return back instead of paying. Ooh, he was livid. But that was the last time that he paid. That was the last time that he paid in taxes. And so that following year, he got a return. And every year afterwards, that return grew and grew and grew and grew, because our family grew, right? We got married. So that helps greatly with taxes. We had children. That helps greatly with taxes. But not only that, I will always have a home-based business. I have always had a home-based business, even when I worked outside of the home. And one of the businesses that I've always had was my tax business, right? So, there are certain expenses that you have that again, once you start taking those deductions, you know, and as a W-2 wage earner, there are some, you know, we call it filling out your W-9 correctly, right? So it's free to do. You don't have to wait until a certain time to do it. You know, you want to make sure that you get that. And, you know, we could do a workshop on how to fill out your W-9 correctly to where you start saving up front on taxes and then using that for your Forex business, right? So imagine that, okay? An extra, again, $100 a week, you know, landing in your pocket, okay? So now, here is the question. Is $400 a month enough money to cover the cost of running your Forex business? Right? Say yes. Yes or no? Okay. Oh, yes. Regina, get with me, because we'll you know, we can definitely get that done. Yeah, I think $400 is enough. Here's the thing. Statistics show that an average of $500 a month, right? Just $500 a month extra in, you know, your family's income can help to save a marriage, you know, because that's like the #1 cause of divorce, marriage. The second is adultery, but really it's the finances that end up, you know, where have the spouses bickering and everything. And then the second thing after that is you're trying to find companionship outside of that. And then that leads to adultery. But finances is the #1. And so it's like, you mean to tell me just $500 can help me save my marriage? If we're going back and forth over finances, you see what I'm saying? And here it is. You already have it. You just have to make sure that you're not being overtaxed and you get that right up front, you know, right within your, you know, your paycheck. So we have all of these yeses right here. Yes. Right. So for nearly everyone, $400 to $500 a month is far more than enough to pay for all home business startup costs, especially your Forex business costs and ongoing operating costs, right? You will now be running your own business and running it with zero negative impact to your current cash flow. So here's an exciting thought. Since tax benefits alone will cover your operational expenses, every commission, bonus, or sales income you make, your Forex profits in your business, in the business that you run, will be pure profit, since Uncle Sam will be paying for your overhead operating costs, right? So we're you know, the goal is to get you $400 to $500 back, just right there in your paycheck. Okay. So here's the fair warning. This is a warning. The cost of procrastination is huge. Every morning, just before you leave for your, you know, leave home for your job, you know, your W-2 job, from now on to the day that you start your business. But here's the good thing about it. You all already started. All right. So give yourselves a pat on the back, clap, high five, do whatever it is that you do, because you already started. But for those of you that have not, okay, I just want you to open up your kitchen window, your car window, or whatever. When you're driving, just throw a $20 bill out of the window every single day and watch it just blow away, blow in the breeze. Let somebody on the street get it. Let somebody walking past your house pick it up. Okay. Do that every morning until the day that you begin your business. Do that every morning until the day that you decide to come over to KPCFX. Before the day that you decide to take advantage of the affiliate program with KPCM that we have. Just throw $20 out the window. Because every single day that you do not start your business, you are throwing away about $20 in overpaid taxes daily. And I don't know about you, but I'm not throwing $20 on the ground outside every day. I mean, that just don't make sense. Right? I was at a car show the other day with my husband and found $10 on the ground. It was right next to this man. And I saw it, I picked it up and I walked up to him and I said, "Is this yours?" And he looked and he said, no. I said, "Okay, well, thank you. It's mine now." And I walked off before he decided to change his mind because he told me it wasn't his. Right? He couldn't lie fast enough. So he was like, no. I said, "Thank you so much because it's mine now," and walked off. I found $10 on the ground. So you think I'm about to throw $20 out the window? No, I will not. I will not. So here's the thing. Taxes are bleeding you to death. Okay? But now you can reduce the bleeding by starting your business. Start your Forex business. Start your KPCM business. Okay? Your take-home pay will increase when your new business begins and not one day sooner. So until then, keep tossing those $20 bills out the window. The best day to begin your Forex home business is yesterday. The second day is today. So today you can stop overpaying in taxes by some $5,000 year after year after year. That's some $20 every day or $100 every week. Or better yet, listen, contact me or anybody, those of you who are on YouTube. There's a link down, below in the description box. You can click on that link and it will take you to where you need to go to show you everything that we have over here in our wonderful community with KPCFX. We also have an affiliate program with KPCM. And listen, you just let us know, hey, I want to start my business today, and start collecting my money like immediately. All right. So if you do not have a small or a home-based business, especially Forex, because not only, listen, with Forex, we're making money in the market, but then because it's our business, we're able to take advantage of the deductions that are available to all businesses and entrepreneurs, right? So if you do not have a business, you're paying way too much in taxes. Congress has approved major tax breaks specifically for those who have a home business. And because home businesses play an important role in stimulating, stabilizing, and supporting the American economy, especially in the time that we're in now, we're all watching the news. As Forex traders, we have to do that because that news gives us our edge. It's high time to have a Forex business among all businesses. This is the best business that you can ever have, right? It's the best business that you can ever have, okay? So you must qualify for them though, but that's easy. The IRS is very specific about the requirements for qualifying your home business deductions, and qualifying simply requires you to, one, work your business on a regular and consistent basis. There's that word consistency, right? We always talk about consistency. We have to be consistent trading. Okay. Number two, be profitable, or at least attempting to produce a profit. Okay. And three, keep IRS required records. And of course, I have that checklist, and we're going to do a workshop on how to keep records, what files to have, all of that great stuff, right? And so that's pretty much it. And you do not have to make a profit before qualifying for the deductions. Just be working towards making a profit. And that's how you qualify. So now, what exactly do you qualify for? Your home business tax breaks come in the form in a long list of tax deductions ranging from rent and utilities to furniture and furnishings to cars and trucks to trips and entertainment and even the kids' allowances, right? We talked about that. So the home business tax deductions have helped many people cut their taxes by up to 30 to 50% or more. And the amount of tax savings can be enough to ward off a bankruptcy, avoid foreclosure, or to pay for running your home business, right? So now, this is, listen, right here, this is it. This is it right here. Your home. I want you to think of your home as the White House. All right. I want you to think about the White House. I want you to think about the presidency itself. Why does every president have to move themselves and their family into the White House? It is because the president is now running the country, and they're doing it from a home. Running the country is a home-based business. And the president can, they're paid a salary. They're paid, I think, about $450,000 a year. Well, why $450,000 a year? Well, because that is just about $50,000 over the middle income tax bracket, right? The middle class income tax bracket, because the middle class is taxed out the wazoo. So if you're in the middle class income tax bracket, you need to have a home business like 2 years ago. Okay, yesterday. If not yesterday, today. Click the link in the description box to get started, right? Then you do not have to complain about, oh, my taxes is high. I have this high tax bill, this, that, and the other. Let us help you save, right? But now that is the reason why. Now you know why the president has to move in the White House, because they're operating the business of the country from a home. Okay. And all the parties and everything that they have going on there when they travel, they're the face of the country. Just like you, as you go out and you do the things that you do for your business, you become the face of your business, right? Taking that famous lyric from Jay-Z, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man, right? So let me handle my business. Then, he say the D word, but I'm not going to say it here in this presentation. You become the face of your business and you run it from your home, and you get big tax benefits if your home is also your principal place of business operations, right? So having a home office can allow you to convert thousands of dollars worth of normally non-deductible personal expenses into tax-deductible business expenses. They include a portion of your mortgage or rent. Yes, rent can be deductible. All right. Like many people, they want to buy a home so they can start deducting their home. And it's like, oh, I can't deduct my rent. Well, if you're renting and you have a home business, you can deduct a portion of the rent, right? Listen, if you went and got a space, at a, like a brick and mortar building, and you didn't purchase it, you're renting out that space, that you would deduct that rent. So now you don't have to have two overheads. You don't have to have the overhead in your home that's not deductible, and then overhead at a brick and mortar building where it's deductible, but now you're paying two different you know, and I've seen many, I have many friends that were, you know, business owners, and you know, it's like kicking their butts having these two different spaces, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to move into my business location because I can't pay two of the, you know, look, this entrepreneur life ain't no joke. People romanticize it, and it is not to be romanticized. There is a reality of the situation. And, you know, people would ask me, you know, when you gonna get a, you know, a spot here or there? And I'm like, I knew about the benefits of having a home-based business. Now, if I was dealing with a lot of clientele, then yes, I wouldn't have that in my home. It would be outside of my home, you know, but I mean, are you dealing with clientele with a Forex business? No, right? We're meeting on Zoom. Okay. You can do that from home. So, deductions like, you know, your gas bill, right? Heating, air conditioning, electricity, water, sewage, trash, all of these things, homeowners association dues, house cleaning, painting, security alarms, maintenance costs, home repairs, yard services, much, much more. All of these things now become tax deductible. And again, qualifying is easy if your business is based in your home, and if the home office area is used regularly and exclusively for your business. So, oh my gosh, there's so much more, right? There's so much more. So thank you, right, for being in attendance and you know, taking notes and things like that. I know you all have some questions for me. So what questions do you have? If you know, you can raise your hand, and my yes, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my link here. I'm going to put my link here in order for you to go into, let's see, and I'm saying it's coach. It is linktree/coach.hadassah. And, you know, when you click on that, you know, you'll see the different links there, and it'll say like book a coaching session. That's what you'll click on in order to set up an appointment so that we can, you know, go over these things. But then I'm also, because there, you know, there are some things that are unique to each individual. So that is where, you know, you can set up an individual appointment, but then also we're going to do a workshop, because then there are things that apply to, you know, across the board to everyone, right? So we want to make sure that we do that. And if you have a unique situation that is, you know, again, unique to you, then, you know, go ahead, click that link. You can set up an appointment, and then we'll go from there. So, if there are any questions that you have, and I think I saw some questions coming up in the chat. I'll see. Okay, this one that comes up. Miss Florence, she asks, what about working for a company from your home, where your home is your office? Now, with that, and that's a good question. That's a good question, because there are many people that are working from home. So there are some deductions that you can take, you know, by you working from home, but then there are some that are unique to your company. So you would want to ask that question, you know, contact your employer, and, you know, who you would speak to in regards to that, and ask about that, as far as, you know, deductions that you can take because you're working from home, and what are the deductions that, you know, is pretty much unique to the company that you're not able to take. And I would just say that there are some, so let's say, for instance, if, you know, you have your internet service, right? And with your internet service, and what it is that you're doing for that company, and your company is paying, the company that you're working for is paying for that. Okay, then of course you wouldn't be able to deduct that because you have that internet service for the company and the company is paying for it. All right. But any other expenses that is unique to your business, okay, because you have a business, you're a Forex trader. This is your business, so you again, you can set up an appointment with me where we look at those things that's unique to you, and then that way I can be able to guide you properly with that and give you that checklist, and then you can go through and check off what's deductible for you, and then we can look at that in regards to you working for a company from your home. So yes, that was a good question. iPhone Jackie, she said, what about your lawn service being deductible? Yes. Yep, it is. Okay, Linda Brown, you have two questions. Do you could come off mute if you want to come off mute. If you could come off mute. If you can't come off.
I'm trying to find the unmute button. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I have a couple questions. When I went to try to do the application for the EIN, it asked what type of business this is, and I didn't see anything that would actually categorize a Forex business. And so I checked other, and then it went other. It said, well, please explain your type of business. And I didn't want to say trader. I didn't know what to put in that, what to say, what type of business it is.
Okay.
How to categorize it.
Right. And there's actually there's a code. And you know what? I do not have it because I have it written down. But I don't have that. I don't have my notebook at hand right now. But there's an actual code for the type of business that we have, and that code is linked to it's under, I mean, it's not necessarily financial services, but it is dealing with financial and capital markets. So when I look up that code, like I said, I have it written down, then I'll make sure that I share it with everyone, because this is a Forex business. You all will be using that same code. And then therefore, because did you go ahead with it? Did you apply for it, or you just stopped there?
No, I just stopped in the middle because I didn't want to do it and have to do it all over again and all of that. So I just stopped until I could get some clarification on it.
Okay, good. All right. So then we'll make sure that we get that so that you can go ahead and get that done, because this is, we're in mid-December, and by it being mid-December, you might as well just say December is over, and tax season is just about 2 weeks away. So we've been doing this Forex business for quite some time now. Many of us have been trading for a couple of years. Some of you have just come on board. However, those who have been doing it for quite some time, it's time to get the business portion of it handled, right? So that tax season, starting in January, between January and April 15th, we want to make sure that everything is set up properly so that when you do file your taxes, everything is filed correctly. Right.
Okay. So, can I ask my second question real quick?
Yes.
The second question on the form, also, it asks to list if you would have any employees. So I'm like, I would be my only employee. And it said, well, this would be recognized. It would not be recognized by the IRS as a, what was the word it used? Like it wouldn't be recognized as a true LLC. It would be listed as a
sole proprietor.
It didn't say sole proprietor. It said that that it would not be recognized
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have any employees. It would not be, once I start the business, it would not be recognized as, the word wasn't true, it was another word, LLC. So I
Okay.
didn't know whether to put down that I had employees or not.
Right. Got you. Okay. So that's something that I believe we should all do that in the workshop. And that's something that
Yeah.
we, I'll get with King Pip and see if that's something that we can do, like within the next couple of days. Because I do want everybody to be set up properly. There are other people that are probably having that same, it's not an issue. It's just a matter of having those things done correctly. And, you will have some employees, right? Because you're going to hire, I don't know, nieces, nephews, grandchildren. I don't know who you got, but we want to, and I'm big on hiring children, not because, you get a tax deduction, although that's a part of it, but it's more so, our children are out here aimless. And, we can say, oh, these children these days, and they don't want to work, and they don't, have this, and they don't have respect, and they don't have manners, but they want all of this money and they're entitled. Well, the way that we combat all of that is that we hire them. We give them something to do, and we pay them for it. So they develop character, they develop work ethic. They understand the value of a dollar. They start learning financial literacy. We start teaching them, how to, how to manage money, how to budget, how to set up things. And then you'll see a change in them because they now start to see that, hey, I am valued. Think about that. If you worked and you go to work every day, but you're not being paid, you that's not happening. But why do we think that we should do that to our children? And then they want to hurry up and get away because it's like, okay, I have to do all of this stuff, but whatever. And so they go find a job, and that's fine too, because they can work in your business and then they can also work another job. But then think that's double income for them if that's what they want to do, and then really they don't even have time to get into some stuff that they shouldn't be in, because they are, again, valuing a dollar, learning some good skill sets, and learning how to manage money and to start doing things for themselves, and learning how to become independent, to get out of your pocket, so to speak, and take care of themselves. So we want to make sure that we do that and help you to have employees in that number. It's not like you have to hire 10, 15 people. It can be 2 or 3, but we want to make sure that we do have that set up correctly. So again, that's where this workshop is going to come in. Let's see if there was another question. What about working for a okay, I think we went over that. What about working for a company from your home?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I have my question is this: what if you have a business overseas? And yeah, first of all, that one first. Then the other one is if you can answer that one, so I can tell you this one.
Okay, now having a business overseas, now I wouldn't be able to answer that question. I don't want to give you any of the wrong answers because it is overseas. And so, there are some different tax laws and things like that that would apply.
Okay.
Right? And yeah, so, I'm well versed in American tax laws, not necessarily how they work for, foreign tax. However, I do have the link down there below, you can click that and, book a session, book an appointment with me so that we can go over that, because I do have some information when it comes to foreign tax, but that's something that I would like to go over, with you with that information at hand. But I don't have it at hand right now because again, I haven't dealt with a lot of foreign foreign business tax, but I do have some information that may help to steer you in the right direction with that.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. The second one was, okay, it was about one of the questions I asked you. I think you were talking about, it was if you work for a company, but you work from home. But my question wasn't about, Forex stuff. It was just because my husband worked from home, but it's not that he was hired to work from home. Since COVID hit, he didn't go back to the office since they were asking for a vaccine and all of that. So they never, he never went back. But still, on the internet and other stuff, I don't think the company is paying for the internet for my house. So, so we still pay internet and electricity. So that was my question. So how do you file it? And because we're still paying tax. Even when I work or when I don't work, we still paying tax.
Okay. Well, the good thing about, about the taxes is this, that you have up to 3 years where you can file back for about, the past 3 years. So, again, you can click that link and then we can go over that, specifically for, for your unique situation, but that's something that we can look at. We can look at if you I don't know if you didn't file for the past 2 or 3 years, or if you did, we can look at some things to see where sometimes, well, it would depend. There's some cases where you can file an amended tax. However, again, looking at your unique tax situation, go ahead and click that link to set up an appointment with me. And then we can look at that and go from there. But everyone will receive a checklist on what you, on the tax deductions that are available to you. You want to check those things that apply to you. And then when the workshop, we're going to go over, basically getting those things prepared,
Thank you,
filing them, having those things filed, ready, basically cocked and loaded to go, so that when you're ready to file, whether you use me as a tax preparer, whether you have a tax preparer and you use them, whether you use a CPA that's a tax preparer, that you have all of that stuff, ready to go, so that your your tax filing session will be seamless, right? Seamless, and then maximize that deduction. All right. So are there any other questions before we hop off?
Is there a spreadsheet?
There's usually a spreadsheet that you can use in Excel, but is there one like specifically for, the deductions? If that's what you mean?
Put down all your expenses and stuff like that.
Oh, yes, you could go in it. Excel you can use Excel spreadsheet. Yep, you can use Excel in order to do that. That's how I enter in all of my, all of my things, to keep track of, the business expenses, personal expenses, all of that.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right. Well, all right. That ends today's wealth session with on health and wealth. And this was a class that was streamed in its entirety on YouTube, because this information needs to be out there for everyone, not only just for the many ways that you can save on taxes, whether if you're thinking about starting your business, a small business, or a home business, whatever home-based business that may be to you, at least you have the information that you need as far as being able to save on your taxes. But if you want to have a business, but you're not really into, okay, I'm going to do this particular service, or, I don't want to start a business where I have to deal with products and things like that. I'm telling you, the Forex business is one of the best businesses to have, right? Because you don't have to do that, right? You don't have to deal with products and inventory and things like that. It's just you learning the skill set, in which this is education. And with the educational membership, your membership is tax deductible. Okay, your membership and every expense that you would have in running the Forex business is tax deductible. All right. So we also have, so not only are you learning this skill set to, profit from the Forex market itself, we have an affiliate program that you can tap into, where if you share our platform with other people who may want to learn the skill set, then you're paid, right? That's another business within the same business. Okay. And you run that from home. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just, it's one of the best businesses ever. The best business model that you will ever have. So with that being said, we are going to end this session. Those of you who tuned in live on YouTube, we would love to have you over here in our community. So you all have a great day and be blessed. And we will see you on